I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today we'll be doing our grade 3 lesson on possessive nouns. So we'll be doing our grade English lesson on possessive nouns. And before we start with our lesson on possessive nouns, you're going to log into aplusstudents.ca. Once you've logged into aplusstudents.ca with your username as well as your password, and then you're going to select the subject of language arts and then grade 3. Once you've selected the subject of language arts, grade 3, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of possessive nouns. And possessive nouns is a continuation of what we did in our previous lesson. So it is a continuation of what we did in our previous lesson, but we were basically just breaking it down lesson by lesson. All right, so we're going to be doing our lesson on possessive nouns. So our chapter is possessive nouns. The subject is English language arts, grade 3. And the lesson we will be focusing on today under the chapter of possessive nouns is to form the singular and plural possessive, as well as to identify and correct errors with plural and possessive nouns. So that's going to be our focus lessons under our chapter of possessive nouns. And we are doing our lesson on A plus students. Our tutorial lesson will be on aplusstudents.ca. All right, so we're going to start with what a possessive noun is. So we are going to explain once again what a possessive noun is, and then we're also going to explain the singular possessives as well as the plural possessive. And remember, there is a difference between possessive nouns, or let's say plural possessives, as well as just a plural noun, right? And we'll get into that. So possessive noun, it shows who or what owns something, or it even shows who owns something or has something. So if something belongs to you, right, then we can basically say it's yours, it's mine, right? But if we make mention of your name, right? So if maybe somebody's asking who does the ball belong to, and then I can maybe say it is, let me choose a name, it is Sasuke's ball. So if they maybe ask whose ball this is, and then we can maybe say it is Sasuke's ball, right? So then it means that we put an apostrophe as well as an S in order to show who owns the ball, right? All right. Um, can you hear me now? All right. I'm gonna try and speak a bit louder. So if if we want to show that something belongs to someone, right, and then we can maybe say that it belongs to that specific person, and now made an example of Sasuke. So if maybe we ask who does the ball belong to, and then we can say it is Sasuke's ball, right? So you see the apostrophe and the S, right? we add the apostrophe and the s to that specific name or to a noun to show ownership or to show who basically has something. And in this case, it shows that Sasuke has the ball or owns the ball, right? Even if we maybe, if she's maybe a girl or if he's a boy, if we maybe want to say that it belongs to a girl, right, then we can maybe say it is the girls' toys, right? So now we say girls, which is apostrophe, and is toys, which means that the toys belongs to the girls, right? So if you don't add the apostrophe and the is, if you don't add the apostrophe and the is, you just, for example, say girls, right, without the apostrophe, and then it means that this is just plural, because you are just basically telling us about more than one girl, right? But if you add the apostrophe as well as the s, then it is a possessive noun, because it shows position, it shows who owns something or it shows who has something. All right, so then we have singular possessive nouns, and then we also have plural possessive nouns, right? And when a noun is singular, right? Singular referring to one person, one thing, one place, right? One animal. So when a noun is singular, then we add the apostrophe and the s, meaning we're going to add this, which is the apostrophe and the s, to the noun to form the singular possessive noun. If you don't add the apostrophe and the s, then we can't say it is a possessive noun, right? You need to add the apostrophe and the s, or at least the apostrophe, in order to show it is a possessive noun. And if we look at an example, right? So Matt. So Matt is the name of a boy, right? And if we're now asking who does this glove belong to, then we can say the glove belongs to Matt, right? But now, if the glove belongs to Matt, then we can say it is Matt's glove. And as you can see, we added the and the s to show that it belongs to Matt. It is a possessive noun. The same with the bird, right? If we want to make mention of the bird, right? And now we're talking about the wings of a bird. And then we can say the bird's wings. And there we have the apostrophe and is. The bird's wings. And that is a singular possessive, right? Remember, we need to add the apostrophe as well as the is to show it is a possessive noun. If you don't add the apostrophe and the is, if you don't add the apostrophe and the is, then it means that you are basically just showing that it is a plural noun. And a plural noun refers to more than one person, place, thing, or animal. All right. So now we look at, if we now look at the plural noun, and the noun is plural, right? So it refers to more than one. So it can either be more than one person, more than one place, animal, or thing, right? So that is plural, right? So if the noun is plural, or when the noun is plural, right? and the noun ends in an S, right? If the noun is plural and it ends with an S, then we basically just add the apostrophe only. We don't add another S. And once we add the apostrophe, and then it means that we form the plural possessive noun. And if we look at an example, so if we make mention of the boys, right? This means that it is more than one boy. So the boys. And as you can see, boys, it ends with an S, right? So boys, they end with an S. So if we want to make mention of the camp that the boys are going on, then we are saying the boys' camp. And there we added the apostrophe as well as the only apostrophe. And the apostrophe we added at the end of that word boys, and only the apostrophe, we did not add another S. In like this with schools, right? This means referring to more than one school, right? So this is more than one school, right? So at least two or more schools. So if we're talking about, say, maybe there is an inter-school athletics, right, or something, and now we have more than one team or more than one school with different teams, and then we say the school's team. And as you can see, schools, it ends with an S. So the only thing that we're going to do is we add the apostrophe at the end position. So once again, when it comes to a possessive noun, right, we need to add an apostrophe, an S, to a singular form or singular noun, or we only add an apostrophe at the end of a noun to show possession, to show who owns something or to show who has something, right? And then when it comes to irregular plural nouns, with irregular plural nouns, the word it changes, right? So when a noun is plural, but it does not end with an S, like over here, these ones end with an S, so we had to then put the apostrophe to show that this is the possession or possessiveness. But now, when the noun is plural but it does not end in an S, then we add the apostrophe as well as an S, and that is to form the plural possessive nouns. For example, the children. Children refers to more than one child, right? So if we say that we want to talk about the toys, then we say the children's toys, and then we have an apostrophe and the S. So basically, a possessive noun, right? It basically shows who owns something or it shows who has something, right? And we need to add an apostrophe and an S to either a singular form or we add it to a plural form or plural noun once we once the plural form once the plural form does not end with an S. But as soon as the noun ends with an S, like for example, boys or schools or girls, right? And then we only add an apostrophe. We don't add the S after that specific word. All right. So now we're going to a+students.ca, and then we are going to go over our first chapter, which is to form the singular or plural possessive. All right. So basically, a possessive noun, right? It shows who or what owns something, or it shows who something, right? And we add an apostrophe and an is to a singular noun to make it a positive noun. So we add an apostrophe as well as an is to a singular noun, make it positive, make it a positive noun. And we made an example of Matt's glove as well as the bird's wing, right? And there we have, or there they show us the apostrophe as well as the s that was added to that singular noun to make it a positive noun. All right, so now we're going to do an activity, right? So we need to type the form of the given noun. So we need to type the possessive form of the given noun. So our army, right? Army. If we we are making mention of the army or our army, right? How are we going to change that word army and make it into a possessive noun? Possessive noun needs to show possession. All right, so if we want to show or change that into or make it into a possessive noun, and then we say our armies, right? So our armies, arrows, the arrows belongs to the army, right? Our armies, arrows. And then we need to type the possessive noun or the possessive form of the given noun. If we make mention of crowd, right? Crowd. And then we can say the crowd's excitement. So the crowd's excitement. And then when a possessive noun shows who or what owns something or has something, then an apostrophe or s needs to be added to a singular noun to make it a positive noun. And we said it's Matt's glove as well as the bird's wings. All right, so now let's go to our test. we need to type in the possessive form of the given noun. A hero journey or a hero's journey. So a hero journey or a hero's journey. All right, so if we want to show the possessive form, we can say a hero's, because remember we need to add the apostrophe as well as the is. Mm. So we said a hero's journey. Yes, heroes is correct. Do we say my cousin belt or my cousin's belt? Option one, option two. My cousin belt or my cousin's belt? So we need to choose between option one or option two. All right, so we're going to choose yes, my cousin's belt. And we put the apostrophe as well as the S. So well done, well done. Do we say the chief canoe or the chief's canoe? The chief canoe or the chief's canoe? All right, so we will say the chief's canoe. Canoe. The coach camera or the coach's camera? So do we say the coach camera or the coach's camera? All right, so we will choose option two, which is the coach's camera. Well done. Do we say her husband craft or husband's craft? So, yes, we'll say the second one, which is her husband's craft. Her husband's craft. So, well done. Two is correct. And do we say the fisherman's son or the fisherman's? The fisherman's son or the fisherman's son? So we can say either the fisherman's son or the fisherman's apostrophe and S. And there must be another apostrophe and S on the thingy that's coming. So the fisherman's son, or do we say the fisherman's son? So we can say number two. Well done. So number two is correct. Now we're going to identify and correct errors with plural and singular nouns. All right, so we're going to identify and correct errors with plural and possessive nouns. And a plural noun, it names more than one person, more than one place, or more than one thing. And a possessive noun, it shows who or what owns something, or it even shows who has something, right? And we add an apostrophe and an S, which is this little thingy over here, to a singular noun to make it a positive noun. And we made an example of Matt as well as the bird's arm. And then we have plural nouns, right? And when a plural noun ends with an S, so when a plural noun ends with an S, we just add an apostrophe. So you just add an apostrophe at the end of that word, which is the, let's say maybe the noun, and then that is to make it a positive noun. And then when a plural does not end in S, we just add an apostrophe and S to make it possessive noun. All right. And basically, the explanation is literally an explanation of what I have explained already, which it when it comes to singulars as well as plural nouns. And like we said, if you add an S with no apostrophe, we will assume that you are not, for example, following rules, right? All right. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's do our test. And the test is we need to find the plural or possessive error. So we can say an eagle's sharp eyes helps it to see danger. So is it eagles option one with an apostrophe S, or is it eagles with an S? So we're going to choose eagles, which is option one, because they've got sharp eyes that help see danger. And Scott's package did not arrive because the stamps came off. So Scott's package did not arrive because the stamps came off. So do we say stamps or do we say stamp? Because we now need to find the plural or the possessive error. So it's going to be a plural noun or there is a possessive error. So we say Scott's package did not arrive because the stamps came off. All right, so if we select the correct one, then yes, you can say the stamps came off because now it refers to a plural noun. So the stamps came off, which means it should not be an apostrophe. So well done. This tree's blossoms always smell wonderful. So now we need to find the plural or the possessive error. So this tree's blossoms always wonderful. So the trees, so the trees blossom always smell wonderful. So is it option one, which is trees, option two, which is trees with an apostrophe and S? So this trees blossom always smells so lovely. All right, so do you say trees with an apostrophe? They say we need to find the plural or the possessive error. All right, let's say the trees, right? So the trees is correct. And now we're going to say mice's tails are long and skinny. So mice's tails are long and skinny. We need to find the plural or the possessive error within the sentence. So say tails or tail. So tails or tail. So the mice's tails are long and skinny. So tails. Do we say tails or tail? All right, so we're going to say tails because I said mice's tails are long and skinny because mice refers to more than one mouse. All right, so that one is correct. And then a kangaroo, strong back legs help it jump. Say a kangaroos with an apostrophe S, or kangaroos as in with just an apostrophe. So if we find the plural or the possessive error, we would say it is kangaroos. So a kangaroos, this is now with an apostrophe and an S, strong black back legs, help it jump. And kangaroos is correct. And some people's garages are quite messy. People's garages are quite messy. Do we say option one, which is people's, which is apostrophe and S, or people's with an apostrophe at the end? All right, so we're going to say some people's garages are quite messy, right? All right, so that is basically our possessive nouns, right? And we were forming possessive nouns, or let's say we were forming singular as well as plural possessive nouns. And we said plural possessive nouns, it basically refers to one person, animal, place, or thing, right? Who either owns something or has something or shows ownership, right? And then we have a plural possessive noun, which refers to more than one person who either owns something or that has something. And then we identified and we corrected errors that either had plural or the possessive nouns, right? And we corrected that. Okay, so now we're going to go on to a plus classes.ca. So we're going to log into a plus classes.ca. So we can go to a plus classes.ca. Then we go to learning material. So we're going to learning materials. We're going to choose the grade, which is grade 3. Scroll down up until we get to language arts, which is by the green book. And then we're going to choose the second workbook. And then we're going to scroll down up until we get to page 51. Up until we get to page 51. And this is possessive nouns, right? And a possessive noun is a noun that shows who or what owns or has something. And we add an apostrophe, remember, as well as an S to singular nouns to make it positive. For example, the rays of the sun. So now she can say the sun's rays, the light of the moon. So you can say the moon's light. And as you can see, we write moon and the apostrophe and the S. The orbit of the earth. The orbit of the earth. We say the what orbit? So we will say the earth's orbit. So we'll say Earth's orbit. And it's apostrophe and an S. Earth's orbit. And then we say the planets of the galaxy. All right. And then we say the planets. Let's maybe try and say the eighth planet. So we can then say the planets of the galaxy. Then we can say the galaxy's planets. All right. So this is but a few times. So we basically had to add the possessive noun, whether it was singular or whether it was plural. All right. So now we're going to, so that's possessive noun. So focused our we did our chapter as well as our lessons now on possessive nouns, right? Whether it is in the singular form or whether it is in the plural form, right? Possessive nouns. We have singular possessives. When we write about the possessives, we put an apostrophe and an S, or we put, for example, if it's just plural to show you more than one, and then even a crate or something, or let's say go kart or something that we can put there to show that this is two or more, right? All right, so this is now the end of my lesson, grade sevens, grade threes. Thank you for joining the class, and I really hope you're going to have a good day further. Goodbye.